Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Mini, a True Nerd, and welcome back to Stellaris. Last time we wrapped up what I would say was a very productive little war with the bloody Lolahandrians, and they have finally kind of been banished way up here, far, far from my shores, no longer sharing a border with those gits. And we have created instead the Billnocks are back! The lovely little Billnocks, who used to be dicks but aren't anymore. Now they like us. They are very, very friendly indeed. And I think we can potentially get... Yeah, I think we can get better with them, because trust is just going to rise and rise and rise over time. They're going to agree with us. Eventually, I'd say, we're going to be able to actually get them into an alliance. In fact, we could probably get them into an alliance right now if I just changed my war philosophy a little bit. It's just that I'm all in favour of, you know, unrestricted war, which I know isn't a particularly good pacifist thing. Maybe I'll change that at some point, because sooner or later I would actually be able to clean up some really nice allies. Anyway, today I've got a very special plan, which is you may notice a little bit of time has actually just gone by. Has my influence gathering started going down? I don't know, I'm not sure why my influence is now falling, but luckily I'm not too worried about that because I'm about to spend it all. I'm going to spend it all on a very important thing, which is I've had enough of this whole bloody 5 colonised system thing. I know it's now systems rather than planets as of Asimov, which is nice. It means if you can find a system that's got 2 habitable planets in it, you can get 2 for the price of 1. That's very, very cool. However, I've had enough of the 5. Because I just happen to have not drawn adaptive bureaucracy, which is really, really frustrating. So what I want to do is I'm going to change the government. Like, right now I'm getting a load of benefits to science, but I feel like I just don't need them anymore. Like I was saying last time, like I feel like I've basically like upgraded everything in physics I bloody need. And I feel like engineering, I'm increasingly seeing like a bunch of stuff I don't actually need or want. Society's something kind of useful stuff is still occasionally kind of showing up, probably because society's like my lowest number, so it's been upgrading. But like, even now, thanks to all of this research that's coming in, I really feel like, you know, of the number of physics labs and everything I've built, even if I didn't get the bonuses from actually being like a technocratic society, I'd still be able to research things pretty fast. So it's time to turn our back on the Science Directorate. I am abolishing the Institute, and I don't even have to nuke it to do it. No, no, no. Instead, I'm just going to go over to our government here, and I'm going to say, for 250 influence, we are going to change away from being a Science Directorate. Because I've got advanced governments, I am allowed, like, the more advanced versions of all the ones that exist. Because, like, every single form of government in this game has a more advanced version that can be unlocked through the advanced government. And you can do this at any time, by the way. For 250 influence, anytime you want, you can just change your style of government. So I'm going to move over to this form of kind of advanced, peaceful bureaucracy. And that gets me. I still have the elections every 40 to 50 years, and like my governing ethics stay the same. So the fact that I'm pacifist still kind of locks me out from a bunch of like military ones, for example. However, this is kind of compatible with being materialist and pacifist. So as a result, we're going to go over to this, and that's going to add 10 to our core sector system allowance. So we can just start going crazy, and we don't have to like be shoving stuff into sectors anymore, and all sorts of good stuff's going to happen. So this here, this form of protectorate, we are going to reform ourselves into that. And now, oh, look at that. That is absolutely glorious. Now, that means we can start going crazy on Operation Let's Actually Start Expanding. Because now we don't have to worry about like the limits anymore. There's all sorts of stuff we should reasonably be expanding to. In fact, straight away, I want to get 2 colony ships into production. Because the thing is, my fleet's currently massively over capacity. It doesn't matter, it just means I have to spend more kind of keeping it up. And you can see there, like, I'm capped out on energy. I've got ridiculous amounts of minerals coming in as well. So that's not a problem in the slightest. So what I need to do is, if I can like very rapidly start expanding now, new planets all over the bloody shop, populations growing, all sorts of good stuff, that means my fleet capacity will go up. In fact, there's another good thing I need to do as well. This is actually something I only just learned the other day, which is part of the way this is calculated is related to spaceports. You get a little bit extra for every spaceport, but more than that, you get an additional +1 every time a spaceport goes up a level. Now, I'm sitting on 12,000 minerals right now, so logically, what I can do here is I can basically just convert money into additional fleet capacity purely by just queuing up all of this. So if I go if I put this up to level 2, and then straight up to level 3 for 450. Then level 4, that's another 600, and then that on top. Well, that's fine. Don't worry. That's all 100% fine. Don't need to worry about that. So we just get that going. So now a whole bunch of flipping upgrades going on here. And as those come in, you're just going to see the fleet just ticking up and up and up. So that's one way we're going to get the fleet size up. The other way is we're going to take more planets. We're going to grow population, because it's also a function of population, how many planets you're holding. And it's presumably systems, not planets, because since Asimov, it's all been about systems, not planets. So over in Duckburg, I want to get myself going over here at this here spaceport. Oh, get out of the way. We don't need you. I think we've probably got enough fleet right now. Let's get a colony ship going on here. Build myself one colony ship. Lovely. So we'll get one of those building over there. And we'll get another colony ship building over here at the money bin. Lovely. Except, why does this colony ship need me to specify who I'm sending right now, whereas the one at Duckburg just didn't? That's odd. But I definitely want to be sending the Mighty Ducks on this here expedition. That's certainly true, but I just need to pick the right ones. These guys will do perfectly, because you can hover over their preferences to see kind of how they're going to do on a given world. So I know where I'm going to be sending these guys, so you will do just fine. There we go, colony ship working for you. Lovely. So, now we can kick off on both of those, and we'll have 2 new colonies founded very, very soon. I think we've got the bloody energy for it. Now, what exactly has gone wrong with my flipping influence here? Why am I losing it? Frontier Outpost. Well, I always had that, didn't I? Oh, I lose influence due to defensive pacts. Meanwhile, if we go back over to research, we can definitely see it has slowed down a little bit, but we're still researching quite advanced things fairly quickly, so I think we are under control still. I don't regret moving us over to this new footing. Ah, the influence thing may be having more of a problem than I was expecting. Happiness has actually just dropped 20% because of a lack of influence. Because we're not getting enough influence in, people are actually upset with me. Right. Okay, I see the problem here. Well, in that case, we need to figure out who exactly are we actually having trouble with. I mean, who have we decided to guarantee the independence of here? Let's figure this out. Okay, I've just realised the problem here. It's that when you take a vassal, they are fundamentally in a defensive pact with you as long as they remain your vassal. So I've actually picked up 3 defensive pacts without meaning to, and every single one of them is worth -1, which is actually a problem. But I've realised one thing I can do, which is my good friends, the vassals, over in the good hideous space weasel mushrooms, like, they are friends. They are friends to us. They like us. And we've actually, they've been vassals for a very, very long time. So given they are loyal and pathetically weak and all that good stuff, and actually it's quite useful having these guys, because we found they were actually good at making armies with, just that these guys were dicks, because they were like, you know, terrible evangelizing zealots, and thus they would never ever integrate with us. But here, these lads now actually agree with us, because they've spent time, you know, we made them, and then we made them our friends, so they actually agree with us. So if I were to integrate them at this point, they wouldn't be vassals anymore, they'd just become part of us. And we can totally just manage that because we've got the spare capacity to do it. So I'm just going to integrate these guys. That should get us 1 point of influence back, as well as a whole bunch of fleet capacity. Notice the fleet capacity, by the way, is sneaking up as the spaceports are being upgraded. So yeah, let's just integrate them. Why the bloody hell not? And it will cost a total of... Bloody hell! Should have known it wouldn't be that easy. Well, in that case, I'm going to release the dicks instead. These bastards who I never liked and clearly are not going to be that much use to me, I'm just going to release them as a subject. They can become independent. So I'm just going to release these lads. Yep, they're released. We're sad and disappointed to see you go. You are lying, alright? You always hated us. You utter dicks. Okay, so now I've got rid of them. Now I can break any form of defensive pact. Yep, screw all of that. I want to end all, you know, arrangements, full stop. Okay, now I'm gaining again. This is fine. And I believe we should have, yep, we have multiple egg carriers ready to go. Now, back over here to the money bin. And before we get into the actual bloody colony business, all the ethics divergence is starting to, have a few issues. This guy here, who is a member of the Mighty Ducks, is xenophobic, militarist, and spiritualist. He's gone pretty much as far from the path as you can go. And as a result, he is extremely unhappy with us right now. He's... What have we got here? Okay, so he likes the governor, But influential, okay, that's minus 20%, so that'll jump back up again in a second. But he hates migration, he hates the fact that we've got a peaceful first contact protocol, he hates native enlightenment, he hates pacifist regime, he hates fanatical materialism. You should really just move to a different planet. I think you'd be happier elsewhere. Anyway, we've got this here egg carrier loaded up with some of the mighty ducks. Very, very good. And that egg carrier is heading over to here, to Elthea, an area I wouldn't really have prioritised, of course it doesn't get me any more territory. But if we have a look at the world, there's actually a decent amount of stuff here. So I would say we are going to go and colonise this. We can't, because colonisation carries an influence cost these days. Right, never mind, we need to... Okay, so we need to sort out the influence problem as a bit of a priority, in fact. Well, the big cost is coming from the frontier outposts. The question is, do I even really need those anymore? Like, where are these things? No, I think we could potentially do without some of these eventually. In fact, we could do with some of them immediately. So this one down here around Binder, well, this area's got to be holding on to us for now. It's time to wrap some of these lads up. So you, my good lad, can be disbanded immediately. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And that's probably going to have... I'm just going to watch the borders for a second. Does that make any difference at all? No, that has made literally no difference by the looks of it. Marvellous. And then over here, this one's a little bit more risky, but I think we could get away with getting rid of this as well. This one here. I mean, these things are just eating... Yeah, they just basically eat energy. They just eat energy and a tiny bit of influence. So let's get rid of that. Yep. Get rid of that as well. Let's just watch the borders for a second here. They've shrunk, but I don't think we've actually lost anything. We've still got Farem. We've still got Tyrell that's got literally nothing in it at the top of the empire there. So, as a result, we are now in a much happier place. Good. Now, there's one up here around Shutra. The problem is, if I get rid of that, I suspect what will immediately happen is these two areas, like the Bilnox, will immediately close around here, and this area will be cut off. So while I wasn't originally planning to do it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Shutra, because it's not spectacular, but it's okay, and I wouldn't mind just kind of holding on to this area anyway. I don't really want to lose territory to the Bilnox. Oh, and this is intriguing. I think I saw a note a little while ago that the Tiles went to war against one of the Twixie lot down here, but rather interestingly, it does... Oh, hello. Who are you, by the way? You've just bloody... Also, who the Oh, dear. The United Rekthalar Dominion appear to be kind of, rather appropriately, wrecking everything they come across. I'm a bit worried by these guys. Maybe just stay away from them for a bit. But yeah, it feels like the Twacks have kind of come in here and taken over this area, I believe, off the Tiles. Intriguing. That is very, very interesting, in fact. Anyway, that's 30 influence gathered over here to this world that seems, yes, pretty darn decent if I do say so myself. So, we're going over here and we're going to colonize this place. And for whatever reason, there is indeed, you know, a group of people available from Duckburg, even though I never selected them. Does that mean there's like zero ethics diversion on Duckburg, so I didn't get a choice because it didn't matter because everyone down there was the same? I guess so, maybe. Anyway, we want to send the people from the money bin. And we will kick this off. Here seems nice, actually. There's, yeah, minerals, energy. That seems like a lovely place to land. Get landing down there. And that is Elthea Prime. I like the Prime bit, by the way. But instead, it's going to be Quack Prime. So they're going to head over there. That's 100% fine, and that's spent some of our influence straight away. So that's going to take a little bit of time. But the other thing I want to do is... I really kind of want to reunify the Empire. Like, our Empire's like a bit stretched and squiggledy, isn't it? Like, you know, there's a bit over here, and then we've had a bit squeezed out over here. And, like, we're surrounded by friends. Sure, you know, these guys are friends, and these guys are friends, and the Buhavila are just kind of stuck here. And maybe we should actually do something about them, actually. Hadn't really thought about it. But first, I'd like to properly reunify the Empire. Particularly, Taken Flight right now doesn't really belong to us. And that's a shame that we're kind of stuck a little bit away from it. I know we can like go in and out as much as we want because now there's the borders are open by default and we don't have closed borders with the Kithri, but it bothers me that I can't actually do anything. So what I would like to do is have a very small war with the Kithri just for the sake of reunification. That's all. But before we can do that, we have to think a little bit more carefully this time, because actually, I have a plan in mind here, which is I broadly know if the Kithri are going to counterattack, the nice thing about going to war against the Kithri is they're pretty much guaranteed to only attack 2 places. They'll go after the Far Bill, or they'll go after Taken Flight. That's all they're going to do. Now, fortunately, we can actually prepare for that. Because the thing is, say over here in the Far Bill, we may not be able to like do anything to any of these buildings because it's in a sector, but just like you can keep playing with the starports, you can keep playing with the armies as well. So I think what we should do is have a very small defensive army ready, just on the off chance they actually counterattack and try and invade. I just want to have a small defensive army ready to go here. Like, this doesn't need to be big. Like, the maintenance is very, very small. And we'll kind of disband these guys later if we have to. I'm going to do the same thing over here on Taken Flight. Taken Flight is going to have a small defensive army ready. The idea is very simple. If they invade and they're able to take these systems and they actually send in armies, we should actually be able to avoid having any of our planets occupied, which should give us a really good defense against the war score going down too badly. The other thing we can do, by the way, is we can give all of these guys neo-concrete fortifications, even if they're defensive armies, which actually puts their upkeep down slightly, so in the long term it will be cheaper, so I'm basically just throwing money at making all of these guys just a little bit cheaper. So I may as well kind of go around doing that for all of them. Alright, and Quack Prime is here. Quack Prime is obviously going to take a little while to grow. That is going to be a slow process. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll come back to them, but I don't think we need to worry about that. The other thing we need to do, not necessarily for this war, but I'd like to make preparations for future wars. So over here on the Bill of Progress, let's just pause for a second. We've got a couple of empty spaces that can't do anything, you know, appropriate. And this is like our big science hub. So it feels appropriate that, like, you know, out here at the very edge of the Empire where no one's really watching. It's kind of our Noveria, if you like. And we've got some, like, unemployed people who need to do some work. And we've got a planetary capital here, which is actually very, very important indeed. So, I would like you to get working on a military academy. And I would like to get working on something even more important, which is clone vats. I would like you to get working on the clone vats. And interestingly, these don't seem to have any upkeep. Alright, that's fine. And it will suppress some minerals. I think we've got enough minerals. That's 100% fine. So just to make sure, like, the Duck people don't know or mind, I'm going to have one of the Bilnocks actually working on this. I think, like, you know, there'll hopefully be less ethical objections if we have the Bilnock working on this. So that's nice. Add all that together, and once all that's ready to go, I think you will find that we can basically field some of the best armies in the world. But we need some better armies right now. That's kind of our medium-term strategy, which is over back on Duckburg. One of our attack armies is actually just kind of currently stationed here. And every one of these assault armies, good armies by the way, Ganlarevs, I think needs to be fitted out with something. And we have now got Xeno Cavalry. Army health plus 15%, army damage plus 10%. So basically we're going to be sending in the terrifying mushroom space weasels atop Xeno beasts from now on. That, I think, is just what we need to be doing. And this should mean even if they come up against quite tough defenses, we should be fairly able to, you know, punch through them all, I would say. So, all of those lads are now kind of embarked and ready to go. Lovely. And the next group of people can go and do the same. Land our armies here on Duckburg. Now, these guys are post the Mighty Ducks. They're pretty good, but they're not spectacular. So what I wouldn't mind giving to them instead is I'm just going to give them the slightly cheaper neo-concrete fortifications. I know they're an offensive army, but it still does work to their advantage. Oh, and bloody finally in engineering, the 5th rank of the kinetic weapons is unlocked. That's taken bloody ages. Yes, get on that. Lovely. Now, next up on our list of things to do, we're going to need a fleet to also be guarding the Far Bill and Taken Flight. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. So Second Murder, which is now strength of about 3,000, is going to go and defend Taken Flight. Third Murder of about 2,500. It's going to go over here and that's going to defend the far bill. So they're just going to both be kind of hanging around, ready to move into reinforce, defend our planet, everything's going to be 100% fine. First Murder's still at 15,000 strength, that should be 100% fine too. And First Murder's going to start moving out into a good position to start jumping in against the Kithri, because I think we're definitely more or less ready to start looking at them. In fact, yeah, First Murder, you can head down to the far bill as well. You just be ready to make the first move from there. And the transport fleets can just be waiting over here in and around Bindur. That's fine. You guys just hang back there. I don't want you accidentally getting into trouble. Now, as for Shutra, that I think we're ready to colonize. Yes, we do indeed have 60 influence. Send in the Mighty Ducks. Habitability at 50%. Okay. That's a bit of a shame. Yeah, in that case, I was kind of hoping I'd kind of need post the Mighty Ducks to handle Shutra. Well, that's fine. Look what we've got over here. Sirius, this world I've been ignoring resolutely for some time, but which is nonetheless quite a good little candidate for colonization. And like as soon as I've set it up, I might just move it into New Duckburg. So that's fine. And then right about here seems good. Now what I do want, however, is over here in Graceful Wing. I need you guys to start working on a colony ship, because I need you. You've got tons of post the Mighty Ducks, don't you? Yes, you do. Continental 80%, tropical habitability 60%. Yep, you guys are just perfect post the Mighty Ducks. Research is done. Naval capacity just went up a whole 10%. Beautiful. And the living state keeps bloody showing up. Sure, we'll research it. It seems to be a fast one, and maybe it'll unlock something more interesting. Like, sometimes I ignore things, and I shouldn't. Because even if I'm not actually interested in them, like, really good stuff can come up as a result of them existing. So I kind of should pay more attention to the ones I don't actually like. So we'll just get that one done. Apparently it's going to be done in, like, 2 years. So that's 100% fine. Oh, bloody hell. Quack Prime's kind of run into trouble. Which is the Billnocks have moved there en masse. Because we've got open borders with those bastards, and unfortunately that means they've moved there en masse because they're an Arctic people, so this is perfect for them, and I think they've got like nowhere else to expand. But the problem is, that means they've all flipping showed up here, and there's not enough food to support them. Right, okay, you, get over here and get working. We're going to build you a farm. Get on a farm, alright? You can we just move you over to like up to there? Just start growing over there. You over here, right? You build a farm. This is going to take ages because that is queued up like crazy because I was trying to get rid of all of these. Right, let's just cancel all of this in that case. And they've not even got a spaceport yet, so I can't even give them bloody orbital hydroponics. Right, you're just going to have to deal with starvation for a while because everyone's migrated here in a hurry. Faster than you really bloody should have done. Never mind, I'm sure you'll all be fine. Oh, this is intriguing. So, when we create a clone army, we could create a clone of whoever we wanted. So we could create a superior version of the Mighty Ducks, or we could create superior Billnocks, who, because they're not weak, are actually better. So we can actually create a really, really quite bloody strong army of Billnocks to fight for us. That's actually really cool. And the Billnocks, yeah, the Billnocks are going to totally get on with me. Ethics divergence is tiny. Happiness is really, really high. They're going to be absolutely fine here. Right, well, we can work on our grand clone army later, though I'm rather excited about that. That's going to make tearing through extremely tough planetary defences much, much easier. But yes, let's work on Kithri. And I want this to be a very small, nice, simple war. We're going to have a very small war. I think, like, my mistake with the Lolahandrians was to try and do everything in one go. And while it worked, it took a while. I think we can do better than that if we just kind of take this in small steps, and thus the war goal is a lot smaller. Meanwhile, you'll see that my effects on the fleet are starting to come through as I've kind of got more and more people showing up, and actually I think that's had a really good impact because the Billnocks have all moved into Quack Prime. That's had an immediate impact on my fleet because that's pops within my empire. So like people just, you know, immigrating into my empire because they like it better has actually meant I can actually support more ships, which is quite good. Now, what I want to do immediately is, because I can actually be supporting all of these fleets even when they're, as you can see, they're just idle and not even in orbit. I've still got an energy surplus. So that means it's time for me to start kind of producing pretty much as I can as quickly as possible. There we are. That's a big queue over in Duckburg. That'll keep them ready for a while. And now it's time, yeah, for what should hopefully be a pretty easy war, because I've decided to take it nice and slow and easy. And these lads, I think, will be they'll be happier as part of my empire. I mean, the thing about them is they're fanatical pacifist, and I'm pacifist, well, nominally, so they'll be happy about that. They're moderate collectivists, and that's at odds with individualism, which I don't have an opinion on. So they hopefully shouldn't be at odds with my materialism. So I think these guys should actually integrate into my society very nicely if we're lucky. So as a result, I'm afraid, lads, it is indeed time for us to go to war. Sorry about this, by the way. I do feel quite bad. We hope for a peaceful future. Yeah, good luck with that. Now, obviously, the lads that I'm friends with are going to join in automatically. And what I want to do is I want to have 2 territories off them. I want to have, yeah, this thing, Hadoofus. I want to have Hadoofus off them because I kind of want to lock down this whole area. So Hadoofus is going to be mine. I want you to seed Hadoofus. Where is it? There we are. Seed that. Lovely. Seed Hadoofus. And also seed Dorfil. Now just make double sure there's not anything else in Hadoofus or Dorfil, because sometimes you will find 2 planets in one area and that can cause trouble. Okay, that's not too bad. And that's only a war cost of 58, which is actually pretty light. So as a result of that, we should just be able to get in, do that, and we can potentially later finish them off by kind of going in and like insisting that this whole area over here become independent and thus in line with my wishes. But I just want to get these 2 areas locked down. That's all I want. Let's see if anyone else is willing to join in, by the way. I wonder if the tiles would maybe be interested. They may be at all? No, I was kind of hoping the tiles might want to, but it would appear that no one's really annoyed with the Kithri right now. Well, that's fine. Confirm that. And be on the way. So First Murder, of course, moves straight over to our first target, which is going to be Dorfil. So First Murder's got a very, very short jump over to Dorfil. It should be there momentarily. So let's just kick this off and see what happens next. But I think, hopefully, we should be alright. And if we're lucky, we might just kind of stumble straight in on something the moment we arrive. If we kind of hit straight into a fight, won't be the worst thing in the world. Here we go. We've got one. That is just, ooh, I think we've actually got their army locked down here. And I think we might be on top of a... Yes, we are actually literally right now on top of a flipping battle station of theirs. And it's knackering my battleship. Which is kind of annoying, but I think it's going to go down very, very quickly. When I say very, very quickly, I think I'm actually about to lose one of my battleships, which is very, very annoying, because this thing is, yeah, that's got bloody 10,000 hit points, and it is going to take out one of my battleships. That's a shame. Did we actually lose that? Oh, no, it just survived. It just flipping survived. Now, the question is, are they going to send anyone to try and... Yes, they are. They've decided they're going to try and attack with a fleet of 8,000, which is really stupid of them, because a fleet of 14.5 is going to just utterly, utterly annihilate that. But just on the off chance it doesn't, we do, of course, have reinforcements waiting in the wings. I would say, let's bring in... what are you? Are you actually moving in right now? Are they actually about to try and... Yeah, they're moving ships about, but I don't know what it is. That's just a transport fleet. That is just some constructor vessels. Yeah. Right now, no obvious sign of any major thing occurring. So, as a result of that, do I want to send one of my reserve fleets in right now? No, it might be overkill, to be honest. But one of my ships is actually pretty weak at the minute. What else do I have now? I mean, I have the flipping capital ship in here somewhere, right? Oh, yes, I do. In fact, it was the capital ship that almost went bloody down. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, just in case, as their fleet... Well, their fleet seems to be pretty well committed over here. So, as a result, not second murder. Second murder definitely needs to stay around there. But third murder, the weaker of the forces, you can just kind of go over here and assist with this if you'd be so kind. Just want some reinforcements, just on the off chance that this goes wrong. What are we looking at here? I'm looking at... Actually, it's it appears to be mainly a force of battleships, actually. They're sending in, like, I think they've got 5 battleships present. And then a whole bunch of smaller things. But looks like they don't have any bombers. So we'll be able to knacker a fair amount of this before we even get involved. I mean, they just actually took down they just took down my actual capital ship, which is kind of annoying. But our reinforcements are right here. So we've got another 2,000 shots coming right in. They're using nuclear weapons. My bombers are coming in and are going to start, hopefully, doing a lot of damage very, very soon. How's this going right now? Yeah, my bombers are going to come in and they're going to start doing a decent amount of damage. Feels like they got the first best shots in, to be honest. And then 12,000. Okay, we're holding up for now. More bombers coming in. Yep. More bombers coming in for now. They're starting to lose their strength, mainly because I think they've actually got like a small number of like corvettes and stuff in this fight. Yeah, they're battleships supported by corvettes. As soon as the corvettes go down and we can just start swarming the battleships, I think actually we're going to be in pretty good shape, though we are losing a lot of our fighting power too. The war is definitely going in our favour. Yes, this is definitely working in our favour. The thing is, we've just got to wear down these battleships because they're tearing our destroyers apart. But starting to go down. That one's going down very, very fast. That's one battleship that's just blown up. Let's get right in for the money shot. Oh, yes, that's definitely gone. The bombers are concentrating firepower. Concentrating. And that's it. They're absolutely... And this! The bloody Ganlarevs. Ganlarevs have shown up. Alright, now, we need to go over here and relax for a minute. Meanwhile, we need to get the transport fleets in over here. Get one of the transport fleets in. The transport fleet that I'm moving in, by the way, is, of course, the Ganlarevs. They're our best transport fleet, so they're moving in specially for this. War score is only 8%, despite the fact that I just destroyed what was clearly their biggest, best fleet, but whatever. Okay, so all of our fleets come over here and begin the bombardment of Jurg-Kut-Heg, which is going to become ours later. And this looks like a very big, nice one. I've no idea what's down here, by the way. I guess I'm going to find out now. Ooh, a nice amount of infrastructure, including a military academy. This is where they trained their armies. Good. I'll be glad to have this off them. I'm guessing that means they've got some good defensive forces. So we've just lost like half the strength of First Murder, but that's fine. I think we did pretty well. I think yeah, they just came at us with way, way more than I was expecting. But that should be their fleet pretty much dealt with. I don't know what they can really do at this point. So we'd probably be pretty safe. Hello, what are you? You are going to be, I'm guessing, just a transport fleet, in fact. What is that? That's just... Oh no, I think it's just a basic corvette. They're just sending corvettes around trying to figure out what the hell's going on and what they ought to do next. At least I think so, anyway. As I think we actually were able to... Actually, no, I'm not sure. I think that army got away. I think that army fled during that fight. So I don't really want to abandon... I don't want to abandon taken flight just on the off chance that they've still got a big army floating around somewhere. This world should be... going down a little bit on the slowly side, mind. While that bombardment's going on, I don't think at this point the Kithri have much more in the way of an answer for us. I'm going to head over here to Shutra, and we are going to go over to this, yeah, this much nicer world. We're going to colonize this for 60, because we have got ourselves some post the Mighty Ducks, who are habitability 70%, so they are just perfect for this world. Let's put this down. Oh, where's good? Wouldn't mind. Actually here, even though it's a bit of a waste because that means it only guarantees it 3 ways, it does mean I can put boost the power in 2 separate directions. So Shutra Prime, sure, why not? I'm kind of running out of duck puns. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to send Second Murder, as Second Murder has a strength of 4,000. I'm just going to send them over to here and get them working on the second target. If I need to, I'll just move them back out again. I think it should be pretty safe. If I see any sign of any red over here, we'll just move them back. Now, what have we got over here? We've got a fleet of... Oh, hello! Oh, that's a big, terrifying thing, actually. Yeah, that's a bit worrying. They've got a big, big, bloody fortress. And we can't actually warp out at this point, unfortunately. I just want to... Let's just take this out and then probably warp out of here, to be honest. Because I feel like these lads are going to start taking a lot of damage very quickly. In fact, they keep going for the battleships first, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so you guys, can you just actually flee, please? Can you get out of here? Oh dear. Yeah, actually, now that you've taken that out, I've decided I wouldn't mind you just leaving. You just leave if you'd be so kind. Darn, those things are actually quite on the tough side. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, with yet another war started that may possibly be a little bit more shaky than I had originally anticipated. I feel like we're definitely stretched a little bit thin here. I'm going to call it apart there, and we're going to wrap this up next time, and we shall see what we can do. I'm pretty confident we should be able to win this one, hopefully. But then I'm just wondering if I'm going to end up in the exact same situation I did last time, with a couple of unwieldy populations that just end up blowing themselves up that I can't actually do anything with. But that's next time, ladies and gentlemen, and in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true nerd, and this has been Stellaris. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Get back here, you... Oi! Where'd you... Ah, flip! Speeders can't go too far off the ground. You! Die! Die! There you go, you get... Take out the tanks. I'm probably doing more damage to Mos Eisley than they are at the moment. Get out of the sky. Get out of my bloody sky, you get. Now we can blow him up, right? Yes! Massive explosion.